Indiana, D. 34, Arkansas, D. 35, West Virginia, D-. 36, Wyoming, D-. 37, North Carolina, D-. 38, Idaho, D-. 39, Ohio, F. 40, North Dakota, F. 41, Oklahoma, F. 42, Georgia, F. 43, Nebraska, F. Number 44, Kansas, F. 45, Alabama, F. 46, South Dakota, F. 47, Utah, F. 48, Tennessee, F. 49, Mississippi, F. 50, Louisiana, F. 51, Florida, F. So the good news is that half of the states have actually increased their stats in the past 2 years. So they're actually going up. The other half is decreasing. And most of those are from 40 to 51. So the most economic states have the highest levels of legal and social inclusion for LGBTQ+. They have the lowest STIs. They may or may not have the lowest unemployment. They usually have a more booming economy. They may have higher taxes due to being Democrat. So why is it that the majority of the lowest ranked LGBTQ+, least inclusive states are usually red states? It's not surprising. A lot of people move from state to state to experience a better quality of life. But what does it say about states that actively pass legislation that harms 1 out of 5 people? Because on average, anywhere from 18 to 25% identify as non-heterosexual. Even if they don't consider themselves part of the queer community, not everyone fits under a logo. And just last year alone, the average score for all 50 states dropped for the first time in years. So when you look at gay and trans rights, you notice that the best states are on the West Coast or up toward New York, Rhode Island, Vermont. The worst states to be trans, queer, gay are the Bible Belt, many of the cowboy states, the farm states, and the Midwest. There's a lot of legislation going on that restricts queer rights. Don't say gay. These bills are very popular in Florida, Indiana, Kansas, and North Carolina. Thankfully, people are getting out and protesting, trying to save themselves and their children from experiencing more discrimination. It's not the America they fought for and bragged about. This is a very right-wing approach to telling a significant portion of our country, you don't matter, you don't have rights, you don't get privilege, you don't get equal protection, you don't have safety, and you don't deserve to live without fear, even though that's the exact opposite of the spirit of America. For people who live in states where they cannot be who they are openly, being happy, or they're not accepted for who they love or what they believe. These can have potential dire consequences for anyone that doesn't fit the cis heterosexual narrative. They face intimidation, harassment, violence, suicide, depression, anxiety, family displacement, abandonment, unemployment. If you live in a state that doesn't require consent to be taught, sex education is focused on abstinence only. Everyone who is sexually active but doesn't understand the dangers and doesn't know how to protect themselves may contract an incurable, life-changing disease. It's ironic that the states with the highest STIs are the states trying to erect the Ten Commandments. Any state, any country, any group of people that want to ban books, hide information, and make it illegal to teach history and teach factual information, to never forget, or else we will relive what we forget, is a threat to public health, public safety, democracy, and the values Americans desire. We need to, instead of make America great again, we need to start teaching about the realities of living in America and find a way to educate people so we can change the things we don't like. We need to vote out bigots. We need to elect judges and push for legislation that protects and adds value to state and federal legislation. We need to make it law in every 50 states in the Constitution that everyone, regardless of orientation, with or without religious thought, race, gender, does not matter. Everyone deserves equality. Very few states in their Constitution says that trans people have rights. In half the states alone, there are laws on the book all the way back to slavery. We need to remove these laws. We need to vote out bigots. We need to put safeguards so these laws can't be made. We need to stop lobbyists. We need to call out and cancel groups that are openly bigoted toward people. Educating ourselves every day on why certain states struggle, why other states prosper. It's because they don't discriminate against people. We'll never be the greatest country in the world until we treat the most vulnerable, weakest, marginalized, dehumanized groups with as much respect as we do a white cis man. How civilizations treat the most vulnerable tells us how long they will remain as relative. And America is doing a terrible job. We have a lot of states that safeguard rights for everyone. They're inclusive. Their economy is booming. But we have the other half. They're failing. Because nobody with sanity will want to live in Florida, which is the 48th out of 50 states for education. Some cities in Florida are wonderful places to live. But when the people in charge of the state, the governor, the politicians, they're bigots, you will have problems.